Hi, everybody. I just want to give my thoughts on this story about the Reverend Fred Price Jr. Stepping down. I'm going to play this short clip of his so-called confession or partial confession, and then just give my brief comments on it.
Good morning. Good morning, church.
Good morning, Pastor.
Approximately a month ago, I came before you to announce that I would be taking 3 months sabbatical. Well, I'm here today to give you an update. I have struggled with
All right. You got you, Pastor. You got you. You got you.
I have struggled with and am correcting and making amends for serious personal misjudgments which have affected my life and my family, and which I deeply regret. I have betrayed the trust of God, my family, and you, my church, and for that I am so sorry. Therefore, I
Server
must step down as
announcement.
pastor at this time. Please let me finish. Please let me finish. I'm going to step down as pastor at this time. I have submitted myself to my father's, our apostles' plan of restoration, chief among those being that I will be attending Sunday service starting next week and throughout the year so that I can hear the word and be restored in order to fulfill the call on my life to ministry. In closing, I would like to ask that you respect my and my family's privacy while we work through this personal situation. I thank you all for the support you've given me. As pastor, I love you all, and I solicit your prayers during this difficult time.
Love you. Love you.
God is great. God is great. Don't worry about it. God's got you. True man of God.
Server announcement.
Okay, so there you have it. The first thing I would like to say is, I commend the guy for stepping down. Uh, a lot of these guys have to get caught in whatever it is that they, have been doing, and then come the crocodile tears, etc., etc. So I don't know what happened. He never said what happened, and I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not a member of this church or, uh, claim even claim the religion. But this story struck me because when I first heard about it, I read a lot of the comments on YouTube, and a lot of the comments come from Christians, who like to throw around Bible verses, uh, and things of that matter. And most of the people were saying that he basically said enough, and that he shouldn't disclose exactly what he did or what he is accused of doing. So basically he used this term, like personal misjudgments, which could be anything. and that was basically the problem I had. A lot of the Christian folks were saying, amen, he's stepping down. We don't need to know, it's between him and God and family and all of that stuff. I'm looking at it as an outsider. And again, I have nothing against Fred Price Jr. I remember seeing his dad as a little boy. When I was a kid, I remember the Frederick K.C. Price, and I even remember the theme in the at the end of the broadcast. It used to go, evidence, don't, evidence. Is there really evidence? And so that actually brings good memories. But the way I'm looking at it, and I don't want all the Christian folk to come down hard and start throwing scriptures at me and everything like that. I mean, I've read the Bible several times, and I have my opinions about it, but that's not for this video right here. I feel that a a person in that position, right? A person that is, the leader, the pastor, right? The shepherd of the flock, so to speak. Okay, with that position comes great responsibility. And, if you mess up, you owe it to the people to disclose what it is, because the simple fact of the matter is people have they invested their time, they invested a lot of their lives in your ministry. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's invested in God, not the person." Listen, the person, in that religion stands as a representative of God, and the person is coming, to see what God has given to you as the pastor, every Sunday and Wednesday and Friday, whatever the church schedule is. Um, by not disclosing exactly what it was or how serious the matter is, you leave the congregation in limbo, because some people might make decisions as to whether they should stay in the church or seek another church, right? Based on the allegations. Let's just say this guy is involved in a $6 million Ponzi scheme, and he's facing 5 to 20 years in prison, right, or something like that. You might have money invested, in this guy's business or something, but you don't know, because he's not confessing right now, right? So you figure, okay, it's in God's hands, right? How do we know this guy is not in trouble, with the feds for, child porn or something? Again, facing some serious jail time, right? It could be adultery or something, but he never said it, so you don't know. So therefore, the congregation is kind of like, kind of in limbo. Like, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw the confession. I was like, okay, it's nice that he, stepped down and stuff, but you know, being in that position of leadership, it's kind of like you owe more to the people than just giving them, personal misjudgment. Because the fact that you're the head of so many people, your quote unquote personal misjudgment can affect many, many lives. Like, for instance, I know if I had kids in the church and say the guy, was involved in some type of, whatever. I'm not accusing him of this, but I'm saying, since we don't know, it could be anything. Child porn or something like that. I'm getting my kids out of there, right? I'm looking for a different place to worship. You know, um, we don't know if he's involved in a multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme, right? We don't know. You might be giving your money, to this guy every Sunday, or to the Lord, quote unquote, every Sunday, and your money could just be disappearing. So I think it's important just from that aspect to have full disclosure, right? Because yes, we like to look at things as, in the spiritual sense, but it's also a business, because without it being a business, they won't be able to afford, what they can afford, and live the lifestyle and fly on these jets and planes, and we all know. And again, I'm not trying to put that down there because a lot of people will get all offended. I just want to speak on this issue of whether Fred Price Jr. should be disclosing um, his wrongdoings or not. And like I said, I just think it's important that when you're in that position, you're so high up that you need to be accountable to the congregation. It's just like any of these other guys like that we've heard of in the past in different fields when Enron the company had the blew all the all the money. This guy Madoff, right? When he went down for the $65 billion Ponzi scheme, or the other company, I think it was Tyco. The heads wind up at the end of the day confessing exactly what they did and what their involvement was, because in that position, the buck stops with you, and you owe it to the people underneath you to explain exactly what you did, especially when their lives are involved in their day-to-day activities are involved with your ministry or what you're doing. You just coming and saying, "Oh, I made a personal misjudgment," is not enough. A personal misjudgment could have been, you ran a stop sign or something, or or you beat up some guy. You got road rage, and you knocked the guy out or something because he cut you off. Maybe something like that. People will be like, "Okay, man, you got a little bit out of line." You know, I'm not gonna, I'll stick with you through this one. But there's some transgressions that people aren't willing to stand by your side, and that's the thing. Without you giving full disclosure, you don't give people that choice. They kind of left in the dark. And I guarantee you that if, say, down the road, something real, crazy comes out, you know, and people are going to be like, man, if I knew that, I would have left 8 months ago, or something like that. Because it depends on the weight of the transgression. There's some transgressions that people could, overlook, you know. But if you find out the guy's, engaged, know, selling, 400 kilos of cocaine, and he done the investigation for transporting, on a private jet or something, you can be like, man. So that's just a different perspective. And again, like I said, don't you know, it's just something to think about. Don't a lot of people like to get real aggressive, jump your bones, and and be like, God is the judge. You can't judge. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that I'm in that congregation. I would like to know so that I can make an informed decision on what I should do in regards to my membership at that particular church. And as you can see, the crowd of people, there's a lot of people that love and support this guy. A lot of people are like, "Oh, we love you," this and that's fantastic. But again, if you find out the guy, I'm saying information is everything, and you could tell this is something serious because they're bringing out all the heavy hitters. Like the assistant pastors is coming out, the mom, and it's called crisis management. You start bringing out everybody, and and the scene looks familiar, right? The wife standing next to the husband. That helping remember with Bill Clinton, right? Even the president, even the former president had to come out and admit to what happened. He couldn't just say, "Oh, I had some personal mismanagement," and go on with the presidency. People were like, "Hey, we got to know what's going on." They launched a full investigation. Only in this kind of environment could a guy get up and say that. And then another point that I heard another brother make in the video is that all these people, like, oh, all these women in the audience say, "Oh, I love you, I love you," but then if their own man did that, own husband did something, they be ready to kick him to the curb, right? Immediately. But if good looking, sharp, looking brother, that's the pastor, multi-million dollar uh organization, it's like, oh, we love it. They ready to give second chances. So the same chances you willing to give this guy, give that to your own spouse, husband, or fiance when they make a transgression. So I would love to hear your comments on that, Christian and non-Christian. Again, I'm not claiming any dog in the fight, or I'm not against Christianity. I'm not for it. You know, um, and like I said, it was just an interesting situation that I saw, and I wanted to give some thoughts on it. So I'll talk to you later.